CNN projects a new win for Mitt Romney in today's Washington State Caucus. It's just 3 days before the all-important Super Tuesday contest. And with more than 60% of the votes counted, Romney has 37% to Congressman Ron Paul and Rick Santorum's 24%. It is a big boost for Romney, who's been battling to boost his lead in the delegate count. Washington is a disappointment for Ron Paul, who focused a lot of time and energy on the state and may have little to show for it. CNN political reporter Shannon Travis is in Seattle tonight, where Paul had planned what he hoped would be a victory rally. But listen, 24%, that's not so bad. He came in dead even with Rick Santorum. He didn't win. It's not a bad showing, though, Shannon. Is this a missed opportunity, though, for Ron Paul?
I mean, it is a missed opportunity. You're exactly right what you just said, Don. 24% is not a bad showing, but it's not the showing that the Ron Paul campaign wants to get. They want to win in one of these contests. Dr. Paul has said publicly himself, you've heard him, you know what, we're focusing our strategy on caucus states. There's not a lot of money that you have to spend in advertising. It's neighbor and husband and wife and families getting together, all supporting. And arguably, Dr. Paul has the most, as I've been following him for the past few months, the biggest crowd sizes. The problem for him is that he hasn't been able to translate all of the hundreds of people coming out in mass to his events into actual votes. It's something that I've talked to him a lot about. The campaign is frustrated by it. But yet, again, Dr. Paul says, you know what? We're still winning because we're winning on delegates. Take a listen at what he said about that tonight.
Half of the votes, we're in a good second place. The good news is we're doing very, very well in getting delegates.
So, Don, it's true, they are racking up delegates, but they're trailing versus Mitt Romney and the others. And the question is, if you rack up those delegates, what do you do with them if you don't actually win the nomination? It's something that Ron Paul and his campaign advisors have to figure out.
Let's look ahead to Tuesday, Super Tuesday, Shannon. So tell us what's at stake and why it's such a big deal with this election cycle. Nothing is decided yet. Everybody's still in sort of limbo here.
That's right. It's a huge deal. Normally, typically Super Tuesday, the nominee is kind of decided by then. Not so much in this case. 419 delegates at stake, about 37% of the total delegates that you need to win the actual nomination. So it's a big deal. 10 states holding their, contest, primaries, caucuses, or whatever, which is why you see Rick Santorum, barnstorming across Ohio. That's going to be a crown jewel for whoever wins there. Romney, obviously, there, too. So it's a pretty big deal because there are just so many delegates at stake. And again, Super Tuesday historically is almost kind of an afterthought, but this year, this time, it's huge.
Digging the glasses there, Shannon Travis. I'm going to have to borrow them. Thank you, sir.
So, Don, it's true, they are racking up delegates, but they're trailing versus Mitt Romney and the others. And the question is, if you rack up those delegates, what do you do with them if you don't actually win the nomination? It's something that Ron Paul and his campaign advisors have to figure out.
But eventually, Congressman, you have to win a state, right?
Well, it depends. I guess if you're going to win the nomination, yes, you better win a state or two. But, we're in the race. We have Super Tuesday coming up. I'll be leaving here shortly to go to Alaska. That's another caucus state. So racking up delegates is a good strategy. But yes, you eventually are going to have to win some states to become the nominee.
So looking immediately to Super Tuesday, do you see a state that you could potentially win there?
I guess the revolution has arrived to Virginia, and I am delighted that it's here. It's very appropriate that the state of Virginia be involved in our revolution that's going on.
Corporations are people, my friend.
Obama.
Corporations are people, my friend.
Obama.
Everything corporations earn ultimately goes to people. So, where do you think it goes? What? Whose pockets?
Obama.
When they describe you and me as being dangerous. That's one thing they are telling the truth, because we are dangerous to the status quo of this country.
Max and the Fed, Max. Max and the Fed.